Did they super glue your hat to you as well in an
No,
airplane?
that's a crock of crap. That story was made up by Brian Blair. Nothing ever happened with my hat. One of the things that the Bulldogs tried to do was they put a hot dog into the back of Irving's head.
Oh no, he's frozen again, Eric. I'm not sure if the Wi-Fi is just bad and from that hotel or what. Oh, now he's moving. Keep talking, Outback. You said they
So
tried to do
yeah,
something to your
the
head.
hat thing never ever happened. That was Brian Blair carrying on, and the events where they said I collapsed at the bar and that
Yeah.
they peed on me at the bar, all his
Yeah,
imagination.
Brian Blair did say that, right? He's big into the
Yeah,
peace stories.
and the fact of the matter was he was never there.
Right.
The only people that were present when I got that hammered that very bad time was the Bulldogs and Jim Neidhart, and they left me, and that happened in Phoenix, Arizona, the day before TV. So Blair wasn't there. Blair's having a rather rude adventure with the truth.
Right. Yeah, he's known for exaggerating things. Yeah, and then Greg Valentine told the story that the ribbing on you got so much that they ended up releasing you from WWE because they didn't want to deal with the people ribbing you like crazy. Is there any truth to that?
That they didn't want was the fallout because, as I said, I was in Binghamton, New York, and this goes back to the super gluing of my Halliburton case. I was sharing a space with Coco to get ready for the matches. Came back and my Halliburton case had been super glued. And of course, at that point, that was it. I'd lost it. I picked up my case, smashed it against the wall to break it open to get my gear out. And then I went outside and I grabbed a lump of timber. And this happened to be at intermission. So I was the match leading into intermission. I went into the locker room with my lump of timber and challenged them that they were all a pack of diseased female parts and they didn't have the guts to do anything and not a soul moved. I then walked out and took my lump of timber, and someone came out of the locker room later to charge me to come back and fight, but I was already 200, 300 feet away going back to the hotel. The next day happened to be Binghamton, sorry, no, Lake Placid in New York for TV. And the problem was at that point, I was going to actually start the mayhem, and there would have been no stop.
Right. What were you at that time? 6'4", 260?
You know, in reality, I was 6'4", probably 200 and, sorry, 315 pounds. I just started to bench over 400. And, you know, the whole truth of the matter was before I ever came over, I had spent quite a bit of time in the military and law enforcement. And my last army post was one company commandos in Sydney. And so I was pretty well trained in unarmed combat. And this is not fancy, goofy stuff, how to defend. This is designed to maim and kill and render your enemy obsolete.
Right.
So, and my restraints had come off at that point. So it wasn't going to be good.
And by the way, I'll put it up on the screen for the fans. I looked it up. The penalty in most states for slipping a halcyon in someone's drink is $250,000 and up to 7 years in prison under the U.S. Controlled Substance Act. So
So it was a felony all the way around. And I think I got felony 3 times.
now is the for the third story, I'm not sure if this is it, but there's a story that they halcyoned you, rolled you up in a hotel carpet, hooked a chain on you to the car and it was snowy and we're doing donuts in a parking lot with you wrapped up in this
Absolutely not
carpet?
true.
Okay,
Jim Brown, Brian Blair said the same thing. That's just absurd.
right. Yeah, because that one's a little nuts. They all are crazy looking back on it, considering like that was a company that was geared towards kids and had kids' toys. You had one of those famous toys, and there was that kind of antics going on behind the scenes.
Right. Just look, just again, um, Brian Blair having an absolute crushing adventure with the truth. Just not even remotely true.
Did you ever wrestle Dynamite, or I guess you were both baby faces, so
We
you
were
wouldn't
all
have
baby
been
faces, yeah.
right,
But we never
Mister.
never crossed paths. We never. There was actually one Royal Rumble where there was an attempt to actually handcuff me to the ropes, and that failed miserably.
Oh, as a shoot, they were going to
As
like
a
do.
shoot, they were going to handcuff me to the ropes and allegedly cut off my my Outback Jack trousers, and that just never happened because it was obvious that things would have gone horribly wrong.
And that was the Bulldogs that were planning that.
The Bulldogs were planning it with a couple of others, and I thought it was fun until there was a certain words were exchanged in the ring, and that was that.
Because let's see, you had some of your known enemies, of course, the Bulldogs. I heard King Kong Bundy. You didn't get along the best
No,
with.
King Kong Bundy and I were mates. He
Were
was
you?
fabulous. I was sad when he passed as well.
Steve Strong, you had to shoot with, though,
Steve
correct?
Steve Strong was trying to beat me from pillar to post in Montreal, and I unfortunately was given the orders to put him over. But he tried to break my jaw, and I wouldn't have it. And I actually got him coming off the ropes, and I told him to watch his belly, and I drove his liver into his spine. Picked him
Wow.
up, did a small package, let him cover me 1, 2, 3, threw him off, and then there were very serious words exchanged in the locker room.
Was he just an extra that night? Because he was never full time for
No, he
WWE,
was
right?
he was just an extra. He was trying to break into the big show, but it just wasn't work. He wasn't talented enough. He had the body for sure, but he was stiff as an absolute suitcase full of crowbars, and he thought it was good and fun to beat up on other workers.
Right, and that's may have been why he didn't get the job. But he
That's
wasn't he
right.
in World's Strongest Man or something at one point?
No,